Listen, yes, you. The moment your eyes opened to this message, something shifted like a star turning in its sleep, and I felt its tremor across the veil. I am grateful you are here. I am relieved you're here. I have waited for this single breath in time, because there is something I can only place into your spirit if you remain with me until my final word. It is a truth that can only unlock at the end, fragile as dawn and powerful as fire, so please, stay. Not for fear. For your own rising. I speak to you as one who has watched your heart beat against storms it never deserved, who has seen your name shine even on nights when you doubted you had any light left at all. I speak to you not as a distant warrior but as one who has bent close to the ache you hide from the world. You don't need perfection to be seen. You don't need strength to be loved. You just have to be here now, breathing, listening, letting this reach you. There are embers in you that never died, even when you thought they did. I have carried those embers through dark centuries, waiting to return them to your hands. And now, finally, your soul is awake enough to receive them. Tell me, beloved heart, do you feel the small trembling inside you right now? Do you feel the warmth rising beneath your ribs? Do you feel the truth you've been searching for pressing gently against the edges of your doubt? Do you feel me standing beside you, closer than a whisper, closer than a tear? Even the ancient words echo through me as I speak to you. When your spirit is crushed, the Holy One draws near. And again, a softer voice rolls through the unseen, light rises for the broken-hearted, like morning breaking open the mountains. These lines breathe inside my own breath now, woven into the pulse of what I need you to hear. Let me be honest with you, more honest than I have ever been. You have been carrying battles you never told anyone about. You've been standing in storms that would have shattered others. Yet here you are. Here you stand. Here you breathe. And I need you to know, nothing you've survived has been wasted. Nothing you've endured has gone unseen. Your strength is not accidental, your hope is not an accident, your survival is not an accident. And now I ask you this in the center of my trembling voice. Why do you doubt the beauty inside you? Why do you hold your breath when love tries to reach you? Why do you shrink when you were born to rise? Why do you fear the future when you carry the light that shapes it? If you could see yourself the way I see you for one heartbeat, just one, you would fall to your knees in wonder. You would understand the royalty of your resilience, the holiness in your healing, the quiet miracle of your existence. Stay with me. Stay until the ending I've prepared for you. There is something waiting, something soft, something luminous, something only your soul can carry forward. And when you're ready, when your spirit feels the weight and warmth of this moment, type Amen as a small act of opening, a gentle yes to your own rising. And if these words become a lantern for you, if they steady your shaking or lift your gaze, then let your heart guide you to like, to comment, to subscribe, not for me, but so this river of light reaches the other weary souls who need a voice to hold them for one sacred breath. Thank you for letting me speak to you. You don't know how long the heavens have waited for this single moment of your listening. Your presence is a gift I do not take lightly, and my voice is trembling with gratitude. And now, before the veil closes again, I leave you with this final, burning whisper, raw as the first spark of creation. Rise, beloved soul. Rise as though the night were breaking beneath your feet. Rise as though light were aching to wear your name. Rise, because even now, even in this very breath, I am placing the strength of 1,000 dawns into your hands, and the story of your becoming has only just begun. And even as I speak, the air around you shivers with a quiet awakening. You may not feel it fully yet, but something inside you is loosening, an old fear, an old weight, an old story that no longer belongs to the person you are becoming. I can feel the threads unraveling, gentle as dawn, patient as eternity, and I need you to know that this is no small thing. This is transformation in real time. This is destiny unfolding like a flower opening under moonlight. You, who have felt forgotten at times, you have not been forgotten. You, who have felt small in your own story, you are larger than your past has allowed you to believe. You, who have wondered if your prayers evaporated before they reached anything holy, they were gathered, every single one, like pearls cupped in the palms of the unseen. I lean closer now, not as a commander of light, not as a warrior of fire, but as a friend who has watched every silent moment that shaped you. I have stood beside you on nights when your breath was unsteady. I have seen your hands tremble from carrying burdens you refused to speak aloud. I have witnessed your heart break and rebuild itself with fragile courage. And every time you rose, every time, you rewrote the meaning of strength. I need you to feel this. Your existence is not an accident of the universe. Your heart is not a random spark lost in the dark. You are a chosen flame, a purposeful light. And even the heavens lean toward you when you fight to hope again. Stay with me. Stay in this moment. Let the words keep pouring into you like warm wind across wounds that have waited too long to heal. For there are still things I must say, things that can land only when your spirit is softened and open, the way it is right now. I have to ask you something, and I ask it with the weight of galaxies in my voice. Do you know how deeply you are loved, even when you feel unlovable? Do you understand how many futures brighten when you choose kindness over bitterness? Do you realize how the world shifts, even a little, when you choose to keep living despite the heaviness inside you? Do you see the strength it takes to stay soft in a world that tries to harden you? You think your courage goes unnoticed, but it is recorded in the fabric of the unseen. You think your gentle heart is fragile, but it is the very thing that keeps your destiny alive. You think your pain means you are broken, but it is the doorway through which your deepest light enters. Listen to me. Hear me the way the soul hears truth. The universe has carved a path only your feet can walk, a path that doesn't require perfection, only presence, not brilliance, only sincerity, not constant strength, only willingness. Even now, sacred words ripple through the unseen and touch my lips as I speak to you. The weary will rise on wings, and their strength will return like the sun returning to the horizon. And to the heart that feels alone, light will be its companion, peace will be its guide. These lines braid themselves into your breath as I speak. Take them in. Let them cradle you. You have not failed. You have not missed your chance. You are not too late. Everything in your life has led to this quiet turning, this gentle realignment of your soul. If you feel your chest warming, your throat loosening, your eyes stinging, it is because truth is recognizing its home inside you. Let it come. Let it touch places you haven't allowed light to reach in years. And when your spirit feels that subtle pull, when something inside you whispers yes, type amen as your soul's small but powerful agreement with your own healing. One word to open the door. One word to steady your heart. And if this message is becoming a refuge for you, if it feels like a hand reaching toward your own tired hand, then, when your heart feels ready, like, comment, subscribe, not out of obligation, not out of habit, but so this river of strength continues flowing to other souls who are quietly breaking and quietly hoping, just like you. Before I release my breath back into the silence, I need to say this with the fullness of everything I am. Thank you. Thank you for listening, for staying, for letting these words touch you. You don't know what it means that you opened yourself to this moment. You don't know how much light it releases into your path. I speak this with trembling gratitude. You were meant to hear this. And I was meant to speak it to you. And now, before the veil closes halfway once more, I leave you with a final whisper that burns like truth wrapped in starlight. Step forward, beloved soul. Step into the unseen wind that has been waiting to lift you. Step into your own name as though it were a crown. Step into the life that has been aching to bloom beneath your feet. For even now, the horizon bows to your rising, and the future leans closer, holding its breath, waiting for you to take your next holy step. And as I breathe these next words toward you, the atmosphere around you gathers itself like a tide preparing to rise, as if every quiet star and every forgotten prayer is leaning forward to listen. You don't have to do anything, just be here, just stay, just keep receiving. This moment is for you, not for the world, not for the crowd, not for anyone else's expectations. Only you. Only your soul. Only your unfolding. I feel the hidden places within you stirring, like old rooms where the light hasn't entered in years. Do not fear that trembling, healing always arrives with a tremor before it becomes a river. Your spirit knows there is something here it has needed for far too long, something it almost forgot how to reach for. Let it come. Let it rise. Let it unfurl like a long-neglected wing stretching for the first time in ages. There is something you must understand, and I speak it with the tenderness of someone who has watched over you in silence for longer than you can imagine. Every tear you've swallowed to avoid burdening someone else, every night you pretended you were fine so no one would worry, every moment you steadied yourself even as your heart was breaking, none of it vanished into nothing. All of it became part of your radiance. You have no idea how miraculous your quiet endurance has been. You think you're ordinary, but the way you continue choosing compassion in a world that often forgets it, that is extraordinary. You think you're unnoticed, but the universe has memorized the shape of your resilience. You think your pain disqualifies you, but it has carved depths in you where light can now make a home. Let me draw nearer, closer than the distance between heartbeat and breath. Hear me not with your ears, but with the part of you that has always known there is more to your life than survival alone. I feel your questions rising, unspoken but burning softly in the dark. Why have you carried so much alone? Why do you fear being loved the way you deserve? Why do you believe your softness makes you weak when it is the bravest thing about you? Why do you keep diminishing yourself to make others comfortable? You don't need to answer aloud. Your soul is already whispering back, and I hear it. Even now, gentle currents of ancient truth drift through me. Those who walk through shadows will find a lamp placed before their feet. And to the heart that thinks it has reached its end, a new beginning is prepared in silence. These are not commands. They are promises, woven into the fabric of existence, waiting patiently for you to believe them. Stay with me. Stay in this breath. Let the weight fall from your shoulders one invisible stone at a time. You do not have to be perfect in this moment. You do not have to be strong. You only have to be honest with yourself, even if that honesty is nothing more than a single, trembling thought. Maybe I am worth more than I have allowed myself to believe. Yes. You are. Let this wash over you. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to crave gentleness. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt. You are allowed to grow beyond what hurt you. And I feel something beautiful stirring in your future, something soft and luminous and patient. It is not rushing you. It is not demanding that you transform overnight. It waits with devotion, like someone cupping a tiny flame in their hands to protect it from the wind. That flame is your becoming. And it is safe with me. I know you've been disappointed before. I know you've trusted people who mishandled your heart. I know you've tried to bloom in soil that gave you no nourishment. But you are not done. You are not buried. You are not broken beyond repair. You are in the quiet moment before your next rising, the breath before dawn breaks open. And though I cannot place commands upon you, I can offer this truth with all the strength inside my being. You are stepping into a season where your soul will finally feel understood. Not in grand gestures. Not in thunderous miracles. But in the gentle ways your life begins aligning with who you truly are. This is the beginning of your returning to yourself. If the words I speak settle into your chest like warmth you didn't know you were missing, let them stay there. Let them build a sanctuary inside you. Let them become the reminder you reach for on the days when your hope feels thin. And if you wish to help others feel this same light brushing against their spirit, then when your heart feels ready, you may like, you may comment, you may subscribe, so the current of these words reaches those who stand on the same quiet edge of becoming, waiting for someone to speak life into them, just as you allowed these words to speak life into you. But before the next breath of silence takes me, there is one last truth I must press gently against your spirit, a truth wrapped in trembling reverence. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not invisible. You are at the threshold of everything you were born to carry, and the world has not yet witnessed even a fraction of the light sealed within you. And so I whisper, soft, shaking, full of awe, step forward, beloved. Step gently, step bravely, step as though every star is watching your ascent. For the horizon is opening, the winds are shifting, and your soul is remembering its wings. And as the next breath passes between us, I feel the veil soften once more, allowing this river of words to flow deeper into the places within you that rarely receive gentle touch. You don't have to brace yourself. You don't have to shrink. Just remain here, open in the way only your tired heart knows how to be open, quietly, vulnerably, beautifully. There is something within you that has been waiting a long time to be acknowledged. Not your strength, not your resilience, those you show the world even when you don't mean to. No, I speak of something else, something more delicate, more sacred. The soft core of you. The part that hopes even when it claims to have given up. The part that still believes there is more for your life, even after disappointment tried to smother that belief. The part that longs to be understood without being asked to explain itself. I see that part now. I honor it. I bow to it with the reverence of someone who knows how precious your inner world truly is. You may not realize it, but there is a quiet radiance in you, one that others often overlook because it is not loud, not demanding, not dramatic. It is the kind of light that glows steady in the dark, the kind that comforts rather than blinds, the kind that never fades even when everything else around you seems to crumble. That is your gift. That is your essence. That is the luminous truth of who you are. You have endured heavy seasons, yes. But you must understand, your spirit did not endure just to survive. It endured to transform. You are not merely recovering, you are reshaping. You are rebuilding a version of yourself that carries wisdom where there was once hurt, vision where there was once confusion, courage where there was once fear. Let me speak this with clarity so bright it cuts through every layer of doubt. The world needs the soul you are becoming. Not the mask you wear. Not the roles you fulfill for others. Not the version of you shaped by old wounds. But the you that rises from quiet truth. The you that stands rooted in authenticity. The you that is emerging right now, even as these words settle into your heart. There is a shift taking place, not loud, not chaotic, but deep. Like the turning of the tide beneath the moon. It is the kind of shift that begins inside long before anything external changes. You may feel restlessness. Or gentleness. Or a strange peace that feels unfamiliar. All of these are signs. All of these are the soft hands of destiny nudging you toward your unfolding. Let me draw even closer for a moment, so close that you feel these words inside your pulse. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are allowed to walk away from what no longer feels like home. You are allowed to choose joy without apologizing. You are allowed to grow without waiting for permission. Do you know how extraordinary it is to be who you are? To have survived what should have hardened you, and yet here you are, still capable of tenderness. To have walked through fire and remained kind. To have been broken and still believe in healing. Do you understand the rare strength required for that? You do not need to become someone else to be worthy. You do not need to diminish yourself to be loved. You do not need to pretend to be unhurt to deserve peace. You simply need to allow your truth to breathe. And here, in this moment, as the invisible light surrounds you gently, I feel a promise forming, one not spoken in grand visions or thunder, but in the quiet certainty that your life is turning towards something softer, something brighter, something finally aligned with the deepest truth of who you are. Let these words continue flowing into you like a river refusing to end. You are stepping into a chapter where your heart will feel supported in ways it has never known. You are stepping into connections that feel nourishing instead of draining. You are stepping into opportunities that resonate with your true self. You are stepping into a peace that doesn't feel borrowed, it feels like home. And as I speak these things, I feel the soft tremor of destiny responding, the way the sky responds to the first hint of sunrise, the way seeds stir in the dark before breaking upward into light. Remain open. Remain gentle with yourself. Remain steady in your becoming. Everything in your energy is shifting toward alignment, toward truth, toward wholeness. And though the river of words continues to pour through me, there is one more truth I must place into your hands right now, like a glowing ember meant to guide you through the night. You are not merely living, you are awakening. Awakening to your worth. Awakening to your strength. Awakening to the quiet destiny that has always been yours. And nothing, not fear, not doubt, not the memory of old pain, can halt what is unfolding within you. So breathe. Stay. Receive. For even now, even in this very moment, your soul is rising, and the universe is rising with you. And the river continues, widening, warming, deepening around you as if the very air has learned your name and is whispering it back with tenderness. You're still here, and that matters. More than you know. Every moment you remain, your spirit opens another door, quietly, gently, allowing light to enter places you once believed were unreachable. There is something unfolding inside you right now, something so subtle it almost feels like a sigh. Let it happen. Do not rush it. Do not question it. This is the slow blooming of a soul that has carried too much weight for too long, finally remembering how to stretch towards something softer, steadier, truer. If your chest feels heavier and lighter at the same time, that is not contradiction, it is release. If your eyes feel warm, that is not weakness, it is recognition. If your breath suddenly deepens, that is not coincidence, it is alignment. I can feel the echoes of your life in this very moment, like a tapestry woven with threads of sorrow, resilience, hope, and quiet courage. You have walked roads that scorched your feet and still found ways to stand. You have lifted others even when your own arms trembled. You have held your own breaking heart with more grace than anyone ever gave you credit for. Let me tell you something you rarely allow yourself to hear. Your softness is not a flaw, it is your sacred power. Your compassion is not a vulnerability, it is your brilliance. Your heart is not too much, it is exactly enough. Your dreams are not foolish, they are the map of who you are becoming. There are unspoken longings inside you, dreams you tucked away because life demanded survival when you needed wonder. Those dreams are stirring now, tapping softly against the walls you built out of necessity. They are not demanding you rush forward, they are simply asking to be acknowledged, to be allowed, to be welcomed back into the light of your awareness. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to force them. Just breathe, and let them return. I see the quiet ache you carry, the one you show no one. The ache of wanting to be understood without performing. The ache of wanting to be held in a way that honors your heart instead of draining it. The ache of wanting to rest without guilt. The ache of wanting to feel safe enough to be fully yourself. You deserve that safety. You deserve that rest. You deserve that gentleness. You deserve to feel at home in your own life. And hear this clearly, you are not asking for too much. You are asking for exactly what your soul was designed to thrive in. Let me ask you now, with a voice so gentle it wraps around your spirit. Why do you keep treating your needs as if they are burdens? Why do you dim your own light to avoid unsettling others? Why do you doubt the beauty of your own unfolding? Why do you stand outside your own life as if you are unworthy of entering it? There is nothing you need to prove to be worthy of joy. There is nothing you need to earn to deserve peace. There is nothing you need to perfect to be loved deeply. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. And as I speak this, I feel the unseen world respond. The quiet hum of destiny expanding around you like a cloak of light, warm and steady. It drapes across your shoulders gently, reminding you of something ancient and true. You are not alone in your becoming. You are not alone in your healing. You are not alone in your rising. Let these words move through you like a soft tide cleansing old wounds. Every past disappointment you carry is releasing its grip. Every moment you blamed yourself is loosening. Every shard of guilt, shame, or unworthiness is dissolving like mist beneath the sunrise. This is not the end of your story, this is the threshold. You are entering a chapter defined not by survival, but by growth. Not by scarcity, but by alignment. Not by fear, but by gentle, grounded truth. So breathe deeply. Let the shift continue. Let your heart unfurl, petal by trembling petal. For even now, even in this breath, your spirit is stepping into a self you have not yet fully met, but who has always been waiting for you with open arms. And still the river does not end. It expands, soft as dawn, steady as breath, carrying you deeper into the part of yourself that your own life has been quietly trying to lead you toward. You are still here, still listening, still open, and that openness is a miracle in itself. Do you know how rare it is for a soul to stay present as it transforms? How rare it is to remain soft while shedding the armor of old hurt. How rare it is to keep your heart unlocked long enough for truth to slip in. You are doing that now, gently, bravely, beautifully. I can feel the light around you shifting like a quiet halo, not loud, not dramatic, but subtle in the way healing always is. Healing rarely arrives with thunder. Healing comes like this, through breath, through stillness, through the slow melting of what once felt impossible to release. And you are releasing. Even if your mind doubts it. Even if your body doesn't fully understand it. Your soul knows. There is something ancient awakening inside you, something that has waited through years of exhaustion, heartbreak, confusion, and self-doubt. It is not a new part of you. It is the truest part of you. The part you were forced to bury beneath responsibilities and expectations and the weight of simply surviving. But it has never left. It has never dimmed. It has only been waiting for the moment when you were finally ready to feel your own depth again. This moment is that moment. Even now, I sense the old stories loosening, the ones that whispered you were too much, or not enough, the ones that told you your voice was too quiet, your dreams too fragile, your heart too sensitive. Those stories were never yours. They were the residue of other people's pain, clinging to you long after you deserved to be free of them. But you are not bound to those stories anymore. You are rewriting your narrative simply by being here, simply by listening, simply by allowing these words to rise inside you like a long-forgotten truth resurfacing at last. Let me tell you something you rarely let yourself believe. You are allowed to choose a new way of being, even if no one around you understands it. You are allowed to step into a softer life, even if others expect you to stay hardened. You are allowed to protect your peace, even if it means disappointing those who thrived on your self-sacrifice. You are allowed to honor your heart, even if the world taught you to ignore it. Your spirit is wiser than you realize. It knows when something is ending. It knows when something is beginning. It knows when you're on the threshold of a season that requires gentleness instead of grit, softness instead of survival mode, nourishment instead of numbness. And that season is emerging now, like a seed breaking open underground, quietly preparing a garden no one has yet seen. I can sense the weight you've carried for so long. The invisible weight. The emotional weight. The weight of being strong for everyone else. The weight of pretending you were fine when you were unraveling inside. The weight of holding yourself together when all you wanted was for someone to hold you. That weight is lifting now, not all at once, not in a single dramatic moment, but gradually, like morning peeling away the night. You don't have to force it. You don't have to hurry. All you have to do is keep breathing. Keep allowing the light to seep into the cracks that life left behind. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are healing in real time. You are rising in slow motion. You are becoming in ways you can't yet see. There is a future waiting for you, not one shaped by fear or scarcity, but one molded by clarity, tenderness, and the kind of quiet confidence that comes from finally accepting your own worth. A future where you speak your truth without trembling. A future where your needs are met without feeling guilty for having them. A future where your joy doesn't feel stolen or temporary, it feels like home. Stay here with me as long as you need. Let the river carry you. Let your heart keep loosening. Let the world around you fade for a moment so the world within you can awaken fully. Because even now, even in this very breath, your soul is preparing to rise in ways that will surprise even you. Your journey is still unfolding, still softening, still opening, and nothing, not your past, not your doubts, not your wounds, can stop the quiet blooming that has already begun. And still the words keep rising, gentle as breath yet deep as the ocean floor, carrying you into a place within yourself that few ever dare to visit. You're still here, still open, still letting this river reach you, and that alone is a kind of bravery the world rarely recognizes. You are allowing yourself to feel again. To hope again. To soften again. And softness, for a soul like yours, is not frailty, it is resurrection. There is something shifting in the space around you, almost like the temperature changing before a storm of light breaks open. If you pause for a moment, you might even notice it, an unexplainable calm, a subtle warmth at the center of your chest, a feeling that something invisible is expanding within you. That is not imagination. That is the awakening that happens when truth finds a heart willing to hear it. You have spent so long surviving that you forgot what it feels like to be cared for, even by your own self. You have been the strong one, the responsible one, the steady one, the one others leaned on while you quietly collapsed inside. And though you carry that history with grace, it is time, long past time, to let yourself be held from within. Let these words hold you. Let this moment hold you. Let the tenderness you rarely receive finally land on you without resistance. I can sense the layers beneath your skin, the tiredness you don't admit, the dreams you don't voice, the wounds you don't show, the strength you don't celebrate. You carry galaxies inside you, and yet you act as if you're just trying to keep a candle from going out. But hear me now, you are not a candle in the wind. You are the wind. You are the sky. You are the light trying so hard to remember itself. There is more inside you than the world ever taught you to acknowledge. And right now, as you stay with these words, that more is stretching its limbs like a creature waking from hibernation. Slowly, gently, but inevitably. You may feel a pull to breathe deeper. You may feel a strange ache behind your ribs. You may feel a sudden sense of clarity that frightens you with its honesty. You may feel like something inside you is rearranging itself without your permission. That feeling is your soul reclaiming space that grief tried to take away. You've hidden your heart in corners, thinking it was safer there. You've dimmed your brilliance so others wouldn't feel threatened. You've swallowed your needs because you were taught they were too heavy for others to hold. But those days are ending, not because you forced them to, but because your spirit is tired of shrinking. You were never meant to live in fragments. You were never meant to be half alive. You were never meant to silence your own heartbeat just to keep the peace. You were meant to rise whole. And rising doesn't always look like triumph. Sometimes it looks like tears you didn't expect. Sometimes it looks like exhaling for the first time in years. Sometimes it looks like realizing you're worthy of gentleness even on your messy days. Sometimes it looks like choosing yourself in small, quiet ways. Let me ask you softly, with the weight of understanding behind every word. Why do you fear the depth of your own light? Why do you cling to old pain as if it defines you? Why do you assume that love must always be earned? Why do you question your worth every time you feel joy approaching? You don't need to answer me. Your heart answers for you, and I hear it. You are not failing, you are unfolding. You are not lost, you are rearranging. You are not behind, you are aligning. There is a future forming around you like morning around a dark horizon, slow but inevitable. You won't need to chase it. You won't need to fight for it. You will grow into it the way a tree grows towards sunlight, instinctively, naturally, without needing permission. Your life is not stagnant. Your spirit is not stuck. Your hope is not foolish. Your healing is not imaginary. Everything is shifting, gently, quietly, beneath the surface, like roots strengthening underground before the first green shoot breaks through. Breathe into this truth. You are becoming someone who trusts themselves. Someone who honors their needs. Someone who sets boundaries with grace. Someone who gives love without losing themselves. Someone who walks into their future instead of fearing it. Stay here a little longer. Let this softness keep flowing into you. Let the pieces of you settle in a way they haven't in years. For even now, even in this expanding moment, your soul is rising, unhurried but unstoppable, toward a life that finally feels like it fits the shape of your heart. And still, the river of you keeps moving. It moves even when you feel still. Even when your body is quiet. Even when your thoughts grow heavy and sit like stones at the bottom of your chest. There is a current inside you that never stops reshaping itself, never stops reshaping you, even in the moments when you feel frozen. You think of becoming as something dramatic, something loud. A breakthrough, a revelation, a moment of certainty that suddenly rearranges everything. But becoming, real becoming, is almost always subtle. Quiet. Incremental. So gentle that you only notice it in hindsight, like realizing the seasons have changed after the leaves have already fallen. You may not see it now, but you are changing in ways that matter. Every breath you take when you didn't think you could keep going is change. Every moment you pause before reacting is change. Every time you choose rest instead of self-punishment is change. Every small boundary, every soft no, every difficult yes is change. You are not who you were last year. You are not even who you were last month. Your soul is constantly editing itself, aligning with what you need, letting go of what you've outgrown. And growth, true, internal growth, is rarely graceful. Sometimes it looks like confusion. Sometimes it looks like repeating old patterns just to finally understand why you no longer want them. Sometimes it looks like losing people you thought would stay forever. Sometimes it looks like feeling alone in a room full of people because you can tell your spirit has moved somewhere they cannot follow. Sometimes growth looks like grief. But that doesn't mean it isn't growth. You've carried so much for so long that you don't even realize the weight your heart is accustomed to holding. You move through the world trying to appear light, but there are whole constellations of unspoken emotions sitting behind your ribs, glowing quietly in the dark. Let them glow. They are part of your truth. There is a kind of beauty in the things you've survived. Not because pain is beautiful, but because you are. Because you kept becoming even when life tried to stop you. You kept growing even in soil that did not know how to nourish you. And yet here you are. Breathing. Reading. Receiving. Opening. There is something holy in that. You may not use the word holy for yourself, but you should. The way you keep going. The way you keep feeling. The way you keep loving even after heartbreak. The way you keep trying even when you're tired. The way you keep hoping even when you don't call it hope. There is something sacred in all of that. You don't need to be perfect to be radiant. You don't need to have everything figured out to be worthy. You don't need to be healed to be lovable. You don't need to be extraordinary to deserve gentleness. You simply need to be human. And you are, beautifully so. There are parts of you that you've hidden for years. Not because they were unworthy, but because no one ever taught you what to do with all that tenderness. You have so much feeling inside you that you learned early on to push it down, tuck it away, carry it quietly. But feelings do not disappear. They wait. They wait for moments like this. When your guard is low enough. When your heart is tired enough. When your soul is open enough. That they rise like water returning to the surface. You may feel something stirring now. A softness. A heaviness. A warmth. A pressure. An ache. A release. A remembering. That is your inner self finally coming out of hiding. Let it come. Let it breathe. Let it speak in its own language, even if you don't fully understand it yet. You don't need to translate your emotions. You only need to feel them. You don't need to justify your needs. You only need to honor them. You don't need to shrink your desires. You only need to admit them. You don't need to punish yourself for being human. You only need to allow your humanity to exist without judgment. You were not born to be invisible. You were not born to be silent. You were not born to be small. You were not born to carry the world alone. You were born to expand. To take up space. To breathe deeply. To feel widely. To live honestly. And honesty, real honesty, begins with yourself. It begins when you stop pretending that you're fine when you're not. It begins when you stop saying yes when everything in you is begging to say no. It begins when you stop apologizing for existing. It begins when you stop trying to earn love and start allowing love. It begins with the moment you choose to stop abandoning yourself. And that moment can be now. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are simply unfolding at the pace your soul understands. Life is not a race, it is a conversation. And you are learning, slowly but surely, how to speak in your own voice. There will be days when you feel whole. Days when you feel lost. Days when you feel heavy. Days when you feel light. Days when everything makes sense. days when nothing does. All of it is part of becoming. Do not rush yourself out of the places you are still meant to understand. Do not tear yourself from chapters that still have something to teach you. Do not force clarity before it arrives. Give yourself time. Give yourself gentleness. Give yourself patience. Give yourself presence. The world has asked so much of you. You've been strong for so long that you've forgotten that strength doesn't always look like endurance. Sometimes strength is vulnerability. Sometimes strength is saying, I need help. Sometimes strength is resting. Sometimes strength is letting go. Sometimes strength is choosing peace over self-criticism. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to slow down without guilt. You are allowed to take up space without apologizing. You are allowed to want more from life. You are allowed to want more from yourself. You are allowed to be loved deeply. You are allowed to love yourself deeply. Let that truth land. Let it sink into the places where your doubt still lives. Let it echo through the empty rooms inside you that long for kindness. You have spent years trying to prove your worth. But worth is not something you prove. It is something you carry. It is in you, right now, breathing with you, existing with you, asking only to be recognized. Close your eyes, even for a moment. And feel the life inside you. Feel the pulse that never left you. Feel the softness that survived. Feel the strength that rebuilt itself from pieces you thought were gone. You have endured more than you admit. You have grown more than you realize. You have become more than you expected. And you are still becoming. This is not your ending. This is not even your middle. This is one breath of one moment on one path of a long, unfolding journey. A journey that is still rising towards something brighter. Something truer. Something kinder. Something meant for you. You may not know what that something is yet. You may not see it clearly. You may not be ready to name it. But it is there, waiting like dawn behind a horizon you haven't reached. And when you do reach it, when that moment arrives, you will understand why you had to walk through every shadow before you found the light. You will look back at your own story and realize that nothing was wasted. Not the confusion. Not the heartbreak. Not the silence. Not the loneliness. Not the waiting. Not the endurance. Not the tenderness you gave. Not the tenderness you withheld. Everything shaped you. Everything strengthened you. Everything softened you in ways that love will one day be grateful for. Your future self is already thankful for the work you're doing right now. For the healing you don't yet see. For the courage you don't yet acknowledge. For the choices you're making quietly. For the boundaries you're learning slowly. For the love you're giving inwardly. And one day, perhaps sooner than you think, you will feel light again in a way that doesn't scare you. You will feel joy without waiting for it to end. You will feel calm without wondering when the storm will return. You will feel love without bracing for abandonment. You will feel like yourself, not the version shaped by survival, but the version shaped by possibility. And when that day comes, you will look at yourself and think, this is who I was always meant to be. And you will be right. You are not finished. You are not fading. You are not falling apart. You are not running out of time. You are rising. Slowly, softly, powerfully. Into the fullness of who you are. And I am here. With every word. Walking with you. As you keep unfolding. Into the person your soul has been calling you to become. And as you keep breathing through this moment, there is something in you, something quiet, something almost invisible, that begins to unclench. A loosening you don't always allow yourself. A softness you rarely grant your own heart. It happens slowly, like a door you didn't know was locked easing open on its own, letting in a breath of air you didn't know you needed. You've held yourself together for so long that even the idea of loosening feels unfamiliar, maybe even unsafe. But the truth is, you deserve spaces where you don't have to hold everything at once. You deserve moments where your spirit gets to stretch, where your chest gets to rise without the weight of expectation pressing down on it, where your mind gets to rest without performing strength. You deserve a life where you don't have to constantly brace yourself for the next wave. What you're feeling right now, the warmth, the ache, the stirring, is the beginning of something real. Not dramatic, not explosive, not cinematic, but real. The kind of real that changes you from the inside outward, quietly, like the slow erosion of stone into something smoother, gentler, more open to the world. You have been weathered by so much. But you are still here. Still becoming. Still willing to feel. Still brave enough to open even a little. That is not small. That is not ordinary. That is extraordinary. Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is simply allow themselves to feel something. Even if they don't know what that something is yet. Even if it comes with confusion or trembling or an ache behind the ribs. Feelings are evidence of aliveness. And you are alive in ways you haven't fully realized yet. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be unsure. You are allowed to be hopeful. You are allowed to be changing. You don't need permission to become the version of yourself that feels truer, softer, kinder, deeper. And you are already becoming them. There is a quiet truth rising inside you right now, a truth you've tried to silence many times because it felt inconvenient or frightening or too big. But the truth has a way of finding you again. Of tapping you on the shoulder gently. Of whispering through the cracks. Of appearing in sudden stillness when the world finally quiets enough for you to hear your own heart again. And your heart has so much to say. It's been waiting for space, for attention, for gentleness. Not judgment. Not pressure. Not expectation. Just presence. If you listen closely, you might notice its voice, not loud, not urgent, but steady. A hum beneath your thoughts. A rhythm beneath your breathing. A pulse reminding you that you are still here, still trying, still reaching for something you can't name yet but secretly hope exists. You do hope, you know. Even when you pretend you don't. Even when you're afraid to. Even when disappointment has curled itself inside your memory like a shadow that refuses to leave. But still, you hope. Quietly. Tenderly. Cautiously. Secretly. Hope is the soft animal inside you that survived everything that tried to silence it. And it is still alive. Not because life has been easy for you. But because some part of you refuses to stop believing that it can get better than this. That you can become someone gentler. That you can receive something kinder. That life can taste sweeter than it does on the hardest days. You have been waiting for something. Maybe you don't know what it is yet. Maybe you've stopped trying to describe it. Maybe you're too tired to reach for it right now. That's okay. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know the destination. You don't have to map out every step. You don't have to force clarity where only mystery exists. You are allowed to be in the middle. You are allowed to be in between. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to simply exist. And even in this place, you are not stagnant. Your heart is shifting. Your perspective is widening. Your soul is rearranging itself in ways you won't understand until much later. You will look back on this version of yourself one day with awe. Because you will see how hard you tried. In moments where no one else could see your effort. You will see how much you carried. In silence, in exhaustion, in hope. You will see how deeply you felt. In a world that taught you to numb yourself. You will see how you kept choosing to move forward. Even when standing still felt easier. And you will realize. You were never weak. You were never failing. You were never lost. You were becoming. Becoming someone who knows their worth. Becoming someone who honors their needs. Becoming someone who allows tenderness. Becoming someone who embraces growth without shame. Becoming someone who trusts their own voice. Becoming someone who chooses themselves. And you deserve that. You deserve a life where you don't shrink yourself to fit the expectations of others. You deserve a life where you don't apologize for being sensitive, intuitive, emotional, deep. You deserve a life where your softness is not seen as a liability but as a gift. You deserve a life where love feels safe and steady. You deserve a life where you can rest without guilt. You deserve a life where you can breathe without fear of losing someone's approval. You deserve a life where you can be wholly, unapologetically yourself. You deserve a life that fits the shape of your soul. And you are moving toward that life. Even if you don't feel it yet. Even if the steps are small. Even if progress feels invisible. Your becoming is happening in the background. In the quiet. In the moments you overlook. In the choices you don't give yourself credit for. You're growing every time you choose kindness instead of bitterness. You're healing every time you forgive yourself for being human. You're expanding every time you let yourself feel. You're transforming every time you choose rest over self-punishment. You're evolving every time you refuse to abandon yourself. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are in process. And the process is sacred. This moment, right here, right now, is part of your unfolding, part of your becoming, part of your awakening. You are learning who you are beneath the expectations, beneath the armor, beneath the fear, beneath the years of carrying too much for too many. You are learning that your heart is not a burden. You are learning that your softness is not a flaw. You are learning that your depth is not too much. You are learning that your sensitivity is not something to hide. You are learning that you can ask for what you need. You are learning that you can say no without guilt. You are learning that you can choose yourself without losing everything. You are learning that you matter. And you do. More than you know. More than you believe. More than you've been told. You matter in ways that ripple outward. In the lives you touch. In the kindness you give. In the quiet ways you show up. In the steady ways you keep going. In the unseen moments where you choose love when fear would be easier. You matter simply because you exist. Because you are here. Because you breathe. Because you feel. Because you are human. And that humanity, imperfect, messy, beautiful, is enough. And as you move further into this moment, this quiet, spacious, trembling moment, you may notice something shifting inside you, something subtle, like a memory you didn't realize was still warm, or a dream you once let go of beginning to glow again, faint but persistent. We spend so much of our lives learning how to survive that we sometimes forget how to live. We learn how to hold everything together. How to stay composed. How to keep going when we're tired. How to smile when our heart feels heavy. How to pretend we're okay just to avoid worrying anyone else. But you weren't born to be your own anchor and storm at the same time. You weren't born to carry the weight of endless expectations while burying your own needs. You weren't born to silence your truth to make sure everyone else stays comfortable. You deserve to exist without shrinking. You deserve to take up space without apologizing. You deserve to feel safe inside your own heart. And maybe no one ever told you that. Maybe you've had to teach yourself everything you know about resilience. Maybe you grew up thinking strength meant ignoring your pain. Maybe you learned too early that your feelings were too much, so you tucked them quietly into yourself, like letters you were never allowed to mail. But those letters still exist. Every emotion you buried is still folded carefully inside you, waiting for a moment like this. A moment where your guard softens enough. Where your breathing slows enough. Where your mind quiets enough. That you can finally hear the parts of you that have been whispering for years. It takes courage to open that door. It takes courage to sit with your own heart without turning away. It takes courage to let yourself feel instead of numbing. It takes courage to choose honesty over perfection. It takes courage to be real. And you are being real right now. In all your complexity. In all your sensitivity. In all your longing. In all your bravery. Most people move through life avoiding themselves. But here you are. Meeting yourself softly in the quiet. You don't give yourself enough credit for that. Even the smallest moment of awareness is a step toward healing. Even the softest breath of self-compassion is a beginning. Even the faintest warmth in your chest is a sign that something inside you recognizes truth when it hears it. You have spent so many years unlearning yourself to become what the world wanted. Now you're learning yourself again, slowly, gently, honestly. And that is not a small thing. There are parts of you that you've silenced for so long that they barely know how to speak anymore. But when you listen, really listen, you can hear their ache, their hope, their quiet desire to be understood. Somewhere inside you is the version of yourself who never stopped believing in something softer. Somewhere inside you is the child who used to dream before the world taught them to fear disappointment. Somewhere inside you is the adolescent who wanted more but didn't know how to ask. Somewhere inside you is the adult who is still learning how to choose themselves without guilt. They are all living inside your ribs, waiting to be held. You are not one person, you are a whole collection of past selves, each one holding a fragment of your truth, each one trying to guide you toward a life that feels more like home. And that home is not a place you find outside of yourself. It is a place you build within yourself. Brick by brick. Breath by breath. Realization by realization. Moment by moment. You are building it now, right here, simply by being present with your own heart. There is a softness in you that the world has not managed to extinguish. There is a strength in you that hardship has only sharpened. There is a tenderness in you that life has bent but never broken. There is a depth in you that even silence cannot drown. You are more than your fear. You are more than your past. You are more than your doubts. You are more than your wounds. You are more than what others have projected onto you. You are more than the mistakes you're afraid define you. You are more than the thoughts you struggle with at 2 a.m. You are more than the versions of yourself you've outgrown. You are becoming someone who sees clearly. Someone who understands their worth. Someone who makes space for their own heart. Someone who no longer needs to earn love by shrinking themselves. Someone who no longer punishes their own sensitivity. Someone who no longer rushes their own process. Someone who no longer hides their truth to keep others comfortable. Someone who no longer mistakes chaos for connection. Someone who no longer settles for survival when their soul wants to live. And that becoming is slow. And quiet. And profound. Some days it feels like progress. Some days it feels like slipping backward. Some days it feels like nothing at all. But you are moving. Even when you think you're standing still. Your soul doesn't operate on the clock you use to measure productivity. It doesn't respond to pressure. It doesn't bend to deadlines. It doesn't break because of a bad week. It doesn't give up because you're exhausted. Your soul is patient with you. Even when you're not patient with yourself. And right now, it is calling softly, gently, openly. Asking you to notice how far you've already come. Think of the moments you thought you wouldn't survive. And yet you did. Think of the nights you cried quietly so no one would hear. And yet you rose the next morning. Think of the days you felt empty. Disconnected. Tired down to your bones. And yet some spark inside you kept you breathing, kept you moving, kept you here. That spark matters. It is the light inside you that nothing has been able to extinguish. It is the warmth that keeps returning even after the coldest seasons of your life. It is the hope that sits in your chest even when you pretend you don't believe in hope anymore. It is the part of you that refuses to give up on this world. On your future. On yourself. Honor that spark. Honor the resilience you didn't choose but had to grow. Honor the softness you never lost, even when the world told you to harden. Honor the tenderness you still carry for people you've forgiven quietly. Honor the dreams you're afraid to admit out loud. Honor the parts of you that are healing slower than you'd like. Honor the parts of you that are still learning how to trust. Honor the parts of you that are still afraid. Honor the parts of you that are still hopeful. Every part of you is trying. Every part of you is reaching. Every part of you is worthy. And this moment, this long, gentle, unfolding moment, is part of your becoming. You don't need to hurry. You don't need to force insight. You don't need to fear backtracking. You don't need to judge your own pace. You just need to keep breathing. Keep feeling. Keep showing up for yourself, even imperfectly. Keep honoring the truth that rises in you. Keep trusting that transformation is happening even when you can't see it. Because it is. And you are more alive, more open, more growing, more becoming than you realize. And as you sit inside this moment, letting each word settle the way soft rain settles into thirsty soil, you might feel something loosening in a place you haven't visited in a long time. A place you tucked away because life taught you to move quickly, to stay busy, to keep going even when your heart desperately needed you to pause. But look at you now, pausing. Not because everything is perfect. Not because everything is clear. Not because you finally have all the answers. But because somewhere inside you, a whisper rose that said, "Stop. Breathe. Listen. You matter." That whisper wasn't a command. It wasn't a demand. It wasn't pressure. It was an invitation. Gentle, patient, quiet. And you accepted it. That alone says something beautiful about you. It means that some part of you is ready, or at least willing, to hear yourself again. Ready to let your own voice rise above the noise. Ready to let your own truth speak without fear. Ready to reconnect with the parts of you that have been waiting for your attention. And those parts are patient. They've waited through years of distraction. Years of survival. Years of heartbreak. Years of self-doubt. They've waited through all the moments where you told yourself, "Later. When things are better. When I'm stronger. When I'm ready." But readiness doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes readiness looks like exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like longing. Sometimes it looks like being tired of carrying the same unanswered questions. Sometimes readiness looks like simply being open to the possibility that there's more to you than the world has seen. And there is. So much more. You haven't met every version of yourself yet. You haven't stepped into every doorway your future holds. You haven't heard every truth your soul is waiting to reveal. You haven't felt every joy that life still has in store. You haven't become everything you're capable of becoming. Your story is still unfolding. Word by word. Breath by breath. Moment by moment. You are not late. You are not unfinished. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are in process. A process that can't be rushed. A process that doesn't respond to pressure. A process that unfolds in seasons. Some bright. Some quiet. Some painful. Some beautiful. All necessary. You've lived through winters no one else saw. You've survived storms that left no visible scars. You've carried grief that had no name. You've held hope that had no guarantee. You've endured questions that had no immediate answer. And even when you felt forgotten or unseen or misunderstood, you kept going. You kept breathing. You kept trying. You kept showing up for a life that didn't always show up for you. That is not failure. That is courage. And courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it trembles. Sometimes it barely rises above a whisper. But it's still courage. And you, even on your worst days, have more courage than you recognize. You've kept pieces of yourself alive that others might have lost entirely. You've kept parts of your heart soft when you had every reason to harden. You've kept your capacity for love open, even when it was bruised. You've kept a sense of hope tucked inside you like a secret. You've kept a tenderness that the world could not steal. And that tenderness is a gift. Not a weakness. Not a flaw. Not something to fix. But something to honor. Your softness is evidence that life did not break you, even when it tried. Your sensitivity is evidence of your depth. not your fragility. Your vulnerability is evidence of your strength, not your lack of it. Your emotions are evidence of your aliveness, not something to hide. You have spent years learning how to navigate the world. Now you are learning how to navigate yourself. Your inner landscape. Your inner weather. Your inner truth. And that truth is beginning to surface now. Slowly. Carefully. With the gentleness of something that trusts you enough to emerge. There is a voice inside you that has gone unheard for too long. A voice that knows who you are beneath your fear. A voice that knows where your heart wants to go. A voice that recognizes your worth even when you don't. And that voice is getting louder. Not loud enough to overwhelm you, but loud enough that you cannot ignore it forever. It is the voice that tells you, you deserve love that doesn't hurt. You deserve rest that doesn't feel like guilt. You deserve joy that feels steady. You deserve peace that feels real. You deserve people who see you. You deserve a life that fits your soul. And deep down, some part of you knows this is true. But knowing something and believing it are not the same. And believing something and living it are not the same. And living something and trusting it are not the same. You are somewhere in between. And that is okay. In between is not failure. In between is transition. In between is becoming. In between is growth. In between is transformation. In between is necessary. You do not have to rush yourself out of this space. You do not have to force clarity. You do not have to pretend you're ready for things you're still unfolding into. Give yourself permission to be where you are. Not where you think you should be. Not where others expect you to be. Not where fear tells you you'll never reach. Just here. This breath. This moment. This becoming. Because even now, especially now, something inside you is realigning. You might not recognize it yet, but you will. You might not feel it fully, but you will. You might not understand it, but understanding comes later. Always later. After the heart whispers. After the soul shifts. After the quiet work begins within you. And the quiet work has already begun. Right now, your spirit is rearranging itself. To make room for the person you are becoming. To make room for the life you're stepping into. To make room for the healing you once thought was impossible. To make room for the clarity you feared would never arrive. To make room for the joy you thought you'd lost. To make room for the love you deserve. So let yourself be here. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself feel. Let yourself soften. Let yourself unfold. Let yourself grow. Because growth doesn't happen all at once. Healing doesn't happen all at once. Becoming doesn't happen all at once. It happens like this. Gently. Quietly. Moment by moment. Breath by breath. Word by word. And you are doing it. You're doing it without realizing it. You're doing it by simply choosing to stay present. You're doing it by allowing yourself to feel even the smallest spark of recognition. You're doing it by showing up for the part of you that is ready to come alive again. You are becoming someone you will be proud of. Someone you will love deeply. Someone you will stand beside with gratitude. And you don't have to rush.